The Western Schism, 1378 to 1417, was one of the most tumultuous periods in the history of the Catholic Church, marked by the existence of multiple rival popes who claimed legitimacy. This division severely weakened the Church's authority and created political and religious turmoil across Europe. In response to this crisis, the Council of Pisa, 1409, attempted to resolve the schism by electing a new pope, leading to the emergence of the Pisan papacy. However, instead of resolving the conflict, this decision only deepened the divisions within the Church. The Pisan papacy highlights the complexities of medieval religious and political power struggles and serves as a testament to the challenges of resolving institutional crises. By examining its origins, challenges, and legacy, we can better understand the broader implications of the Pisan papacy on the history of church governance and European politics. The Western Schism originated in 1378 after the election disputes that followed the death of Pope Gregory XI. Gregory had returned the papacy from Avignon to Rome, ending nearly 70 years of what became known as the Avignon papacy. However, his death created uncertainty regarding his successor. The College of Cardinals, under pressure from the Roman populace to elect an Italian, chose Urban VI. Unfortunately, Urban VI soon alienated many within the clergy due to his harsh reforms and authoritarian leadership style. In response, a group of dissenting cardinals declared his election invalid and chose a rival pope, Clement VII, who established his court in Avignon. This division resulted in two competing papal lines, with European rulers aligning themselves with either the Roman or Avignonese claimant based on political and national interests. France, Scotland, and several Spanish kingdoms supported Avignon, while England, the Holy Roman Empire, and much of Italy recognized Rome. The prolonged schism not only destabilized the Church, but also fueled calls for reform and unity. Many theologians and secular leaders believed that a general council was necessary to restore ecclesiastical harmony. The continued existence of two rival popes led to significant challenges, including confusion over clerical appointments, financial corruption, and declining moral authority. By the early 15th century, frustration with the ongoing schism reached a breaking point. Leading church officials and scholars saw an urgent need to end the crisis. The idea of resolving the schism through conciliarism, the belief that an ecumenical council held supreme authority over the Pope in extraordinary circumstances, gained traction among theologians such as Jean Gerson and Pierre d'Ailly. The Council of Pisa was convened in 1409 by a group of cardinals from both the Roman and Avignonese obediences who sought to depose the rival popes, Gregory XII and Benedict XIII. The council's primary goal was to restore unity by removing both claimants and electing a universally recognized pope. The meeting attracted significant participation from bishops, theologians, and secular rulers eager to see the schism resolved. The council declared both existing popes illegitimate due to their failure to cooperate in ending the schism, and proceeded to elect a new pope, Alexander V, thus establishing a third papal line known as the Pisan papacy. Despite the council's intentions, the creation of the Pisan papacy only exacerbated the crisis. Alexander V, the newly elected pope, was unable to secure widespread recognition, as both Gregory XII and Benedict XIII refused to step down. Instead of resolving the schism, Pisa had introduced a third rival claimant, further complicating matters. Alexander V's short reign, 1409 to 1410, was marked by efforts to assert his legitimacy, but he faced stiff opposition from both his rivals and their respective supporters. Upon Alexander V's death in 1410, his successor, John XXIII, inherited a precarious situation. John XXIII sought to solidify his position through political alliances, particularly with the Holy Roman Emperor Sigismund, but his legitimacy remained contested. The existence of three rival popes deepened divisions within the Church and raised fundamental questions about the nature of papal authority. Rather than resolving the crisis, the Pisan papacy underscored the difficulties of navigating ecclesiastical and political interests in the medieval period. The Pisan popes also struggled financially and administratively. With multiple papal courts in existence, the Church's resources were strained as each claimant demanded allegiance and financial support from different regions. Corruption and simony, selling church offices for money, became rampant as each pope sought to consolidate power. The instability bred disillusionment among clergy and laity alike, fueling broader movements for church reform. The failure of the Pisan papacy to unify the church led to renewed efforts to end the schism. The Council of Constance, 1414 to 1418, was convened with the support of the Holy Roman Emperor Sigismund and other key political figures. Recognizing the need for decisive action, the council deposed all three rival popes, John the 23rd of the Pisan line, Gregory the 12th of Rome, and Benedict the 13th of Avignon. John the 23rd, facing military defeat and dwindling support, was forced to abdicate. Gregory the 12th, although initially resistant, agreed to resign voluntarily in exchange for the recognition of his legitimacy before stepping down. Benedict the 13th, the most intransigent of the three, was ultimately declared a heretic and lost nearly all his remaining support. In 1417, the council elected Martin V as the sole legitimate pope, effectively ending the schism. This marked a turning point in the Church's history, reinforcing the importance of conciliarism, while also reasserting papal authority. The Council of Constance also implemented reforms aimed at preventing future schisms, though these efforts had mixed success. In the short term, the Pisan papacy intensified divisions within the Church and demonstrated the limitations of conciliar intervention. However, in the long run, it contributed to the broader movement toward church reform and centralization. The events of the Western Schism, including the role of the Pisan papacy, set the stage for later debates on the balance of power between popes and councils. The conciliar movement remained a powerful force for the next century, culminating in further councils that sought to limit papal supremacy. However, resistance from later popes gradually curtailed conciliarism, reaffirming the authority of the papacy. The crisis also highlighted the interplay between faith and politics, as secular rulers played a crucial role in determining the Church's leadership. The failure of ecclesiastical leaders to resolve the schism without political intervention exposed the fragility of church institutions. Additionally, the instability of the period contributed to growing criticisms of church corruption, laying the groundwork for later reform movements, including the Protestant Reformation. The Pisan papacy, though intended as a solution to the Western Schism, ultimately failed to achieve its goal and instead prolonged the crisis. However, its role in the broader struggle for church unity serves as a historical lesson in leadership, legitimacy, and institutional reform. The eventual resolution of the schism at the Council of Constance reaffirmed the necessity of consensus in resolving ecclesiastical disputes. The Pisan papacy remains a significant episode in the medieval Church's history, illustrating the enduring challenges of governance in times of division. Despite its failure, it contributed to the evolving discourse on church authority, paving the way for future debates that would shape the institution for centuries to come.